sometimes we operate outside of cognitive understanding, and particularly when the spirit is engaged in a way that isn't our soul. And when we're in a position like that, where fear could take place or whatever, you can be in a place of rest in the eye of the storm, if you like. It doesn't mean there aren't storms going around.
Yeah.
But in that place of rest, in the midst of the storm, then our spirit is able to engage in a supernatural place of peace. The spirit can groan, it can cry, there can be a travail, but mostly that is the result of the soul who is feeling and sensing the things that are going on in the world. God isn't panicked. God isn't travailed. God isn't.
That's what I was sitting there going,
But if we can feel compassion and we can be moved by that compassion, and that's not necessarily a wrong thing. Sometimes the spirit does intercede, because what you're doing when you're engaging with God, you're learning, and we're all learning, only to do what we see the Father doing. And sometimes the Father reveals things to us in a heart-to-heart cardiogenosis way, not in a mind way. So we don't understand actually what it is, but our soul and spirit are engaging it from that perspective. So often when God reveals something, it is a heart-to-heart revelation. And then sometimes later I'm talking about something, sharing something, and all of a sudden I start sharing something that I've never really said before. Where did that come from? But it came out of the revelation that I received from God heart to heart. At the time, I didn't understand in my mind. I didn't have understanding in that way. But when I needed it, the understanding was there. Sometimes our body and our soul isn't capable of fully embracing what our spirit is engaging, and therefore there can be a reaction. Sometimes people's body goes to sleep, or people's body trembles or shakes because they don't have the sort of grid of reference for what's happening. But sometimes things that do that, I mean, I found myself on the floor. I've found, in the past, I've sort of been squatting down, almost giving birth to something. I'm like, what am I doing? This isn't me, because I'm not particularly an extrovert. Therefore, I'm doing things that make me really uncomfortable. Why am I doing this? But it was because I was engaging in the spirit and my soul didn't get in the way. Or sometimes my spirit just overwhelmed the soul in such a way that it just took charge. And sometimes when there is a fearful situation, the spirit does rise up and empowers us in that situation to act outside of what normally we may have done or what other people are reacting. And there may be that what you've contained or received, sometimes just there is an expression, but maybe a yelp or maybe a cry that just is just like almost relief. Just gets released from what you sort of experience within. Some of these things, they're not always easy to define or understand, but whether they're good or bad by how you feel as a result of what's going on. And sometimes you just think, I don't know, it was an emotional experience and something gave. Something gave way or something, and something came out, and that can be what happens. I mean, often dreams are an expression of what is going on in the soul that comes out during a dream. Maybe a cry or a yelp can be a release of something that's inside, that we can't categorize necessarily at the time, but often I found even years later that I can then define an experience differently because I'm in a different place. I can only engage what I'm experiencing in the present with my present level of cognitive understanding. But my cognitive understanding will have changed in the future. Therefore, then I can look back at experiences with a different framework and a different reference point, and explain them differently. If you enjoy these videos, would you please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe? It really does help. Thank you very much.